Have you ever stood in front of a building and thought, wow, this is old? Maybe it was a colonial-era church on the East Coast, or a Spanish mission out west. We often think of American history as starting in 1492 or 1776. But what if I told you there are entire cities in the United States that have been lived in continuously since before many of Europe's most famous cathedrals were even built? Today, we're traveling to the heart of the American Southwest to explore the incredible, ancient pueblo structures, cities of stone and adobe that have stood the test of 1,000 years. Imagine a time long before Columbus set sail. In the high desert landscapes of what is now New Mexico and Arizona, sophisticated societies were flourishing. The ancestral Pueblo people, masters of architecture and agriculture, were building monumental multi-story apartment complexes right into the cliffs and atop towering mesas. These aren't just ruins. They are living testaments to resilience, community, and a connection to the land that is almost impossible to comprehend. Let's start our journey at what's often called Sky City. Welcome to Acoma, Pueblo. Perched atop a sheer-walled 367-foot sandstone mesa in New Mexico, Acoma is a breathtaking sight. It is widely regarded as the oldest continuously inhabited community in the United States. Think about that for a second. People have lived here, raised families here, and carried on their traditions here for roughly 1,000 years. That means its story began around the time the Vikings were exploring North America and long before the Magna Carta was signed in England. Getting to Acoma Pueblo today usually involves a guided tour bus up a steep road carved into the mesa side. But for centuries, the only way up was via a hand-carved staircase cut into the rock face. This natural defense was key to its survival. The homes themselves are incredible feats of engineering. They are multi-story adobe buildings with shared walls, designed to stay cool in the brutal summer heat and warm during the cold desert winters. The roofs are made from layers of brush, mud, and straw laid over wooden beams called vigas, a style you still see all over the Southwest today. Life on the mesa was sustained by a deep understanding of the environment. The Acoma people developed dry farming techniques to grow corn, beans, and squash in the arid land below. They collected precious rainwater in natural cisterns on the mesa top. Everything was deliberate. Everything had a purpose. When you walk through the narrow dirt streets of Acoma, you're not just in a historical site. You're in someone's neighborhood. While many tribal members now live in the modern villages below for convenience, they maintain their ancestral homes on the mesa, returning for important ceremonies and feast days. It's a living link to a past that stretches back a millennium. The pottery of Acoma, known for its thin walls and intricate geometric designs in black and white, is famous worldwide and is another tradition passed down through countless generations. Now, let's travel north, closer to the Sangre de Cristo Mountains, to another marvel of Pueblo architecture, Taos, Pueblo. Like Acoma, Taos is a UNESCO World Heritage Site and a National Historic Landmark. It is one of the most iconic and frequently photographed pueblos, and for good reason. The main part of the pueblo is made up of two large, multi-storied residential complexes. Hloma, the North House, and Hoquima, the South House. These reddish-brown adobe structures look almost like they've grown organically out of the earth. They are separated by Red Willow Creek, which flows down from the sacred Blue Lake. Some of the structures at Taos Pueblo have been dated back to between 1000 and 1450 AD. This means that for over 900 years, this community has been continuously inhabited. The buildings are constructed from adobe bricks made of sun-dried earth, water, and straw. Each year, the outer layers of the adobe are replastered in a communal effort, which gives the buildings their smooth, soft-edged appearance. It's a ritual of renewal, both for the buildings and for the community itself. Walking through Taos Pueblo feels like stepping into another era. There's no electricity or running water in the oldest parts of the pueblo. A deliberate choice to preserve their traditional way of life. Ladders are used to access the upper floors, a feature that was originally defensive. If an enemy approached, the ladders could be pulled up, turning the entire building into a fortress. The heart of the community is the creek, providing all the water for drinking, cooking, and washing. It's a constant reminder of the sacredness of water in a dry land. The Taos people, like those at Acoma, have a deep spiritual connection to their surroundings, from the creek to the mountains that loom over their home. But these are just two examples. The entire Four Corners region where Utah, Colorado, Arizona, and New Mexico meet, dotted with the remnants of this incredible culture. Let's head to Mesa Verde National Park in Colorado. Here, the ancestral Pueblo people did something truly astounding. They built their homes directly into the sheer cliff faces. From about 1190 to 1300 AD, they constructed over 600 cliff dwellings. The most famous of these is Cliff Palace. It's not a palace in the European sense, but a complex community with about 150 rooms and 23 kiva circular, subterranean rooms used for ceremonies. It was likely home to around 100 people. Imagine waking up every morning with a sheer drop of hundreds of feet just outside your door, and a view that stretched for miles across the canyon. To get to their farms on the mesa tops, or to get water from the seeps in the rock, they had to navigate a series of hand and toe-hold trails carved into the cliff. It was a life that required strength, agility, and a total lack of fear of heights. Why did they move into the cliffs? Archaeologists have several theories. It offered incredible protection from the elements' shade, from the summer sun, shelter from winter snow, and it was highly defensible against potential enemies. It also freed up the more fertile mesatops for farming. Building these structures was a monumental task. The sandstone had to be shaped into blocks, mortar had to be mixed, and massive wooden beams had to be hauled for miles and somehow hoisted into place, all without modern tools or draft animals. Then, around the year 1300, after centuries of thriving, the people of Mesa Verde and other major ancestral Puebloan sites left their homes. This great migration is one of the great mysteries of American archaeology. It wasn't a single event, but a gradual process. The most likely culprit was a combination of factors, including a prolonged, severe drought that made farming impossible, social and political conflict, and resource depletion. But they didn't just disappear. They moved south and east, migrating toward more reliable water sources like the Rio Grande Valley. Their descendants are the Pueblo people of today, including the people of Acoma Taos, the Hopi in Arizona, and the Zuni in New Mexico. The stories of this migration are still told in their oral traditions. These ancient structures are far more than just architectural wonders. They are sacred places, infused with the history, culture, and spirituality of the people who built them and who lived there still. They represent a deep, sophisticated knowledge of astronomy, engineering, and sustainable living. While European settlers were building with wood that would rot and decay, the Pueblo people were using stone and earth, materials of the land itself, creating homes that would endure for 1,000 years. When you visit these places, it's crucial to do so with respect. Places like Acoma and Taos are not just tourist attractions. They are private homes and sovereign nations. Follow the rules, listen to your guides, and appreciate the privilege of being welcomed into a community with a history far older than the country it now sits within. These incredible Pueblo cities challenge our perception of history and architecture. They are a powerful, enduring reminder of the rich and ancient civilizations that have called this continent home for millennia. They are not just part of American history. They are the foundation of it. Thanks so much for joining me on this journey through time. If you found this as fascinating as I do, please hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the hidden wonders of our world. See you next time. Don't forget to like and subscribe.